Welcome back to my channel, Charlene Randall Financial. If you are not subscribed to this channel yet, make sure you subscribe so you can see all the videos that I am doing. So, um, today the story that I'm going to get into is a sad story. But before that, I want to let you know if you need your taxes prepared, if you need tax preparation assistance, go to randallparalegal.com and you will be able to get assistance. Okay, so basically, the story that we are talking about today is about a couple who went on a Christmas vacation. So basically, Christmas is supposed to be a good time. Christmas is supposed to be, fun with your loved ones, sharing and basically spending time together that is special, right? So this particular story that we're going to be going into today, there was a couple. One of the individuals, um, Tyrone Davis, there was an accident where there's so many mixed up stories with this story in particular. Um, the facts are scattered as far as I know, but this story, as I was looking at it, it kind of it stood out. It stood out because it was a couple, and the man seemed to be really in love with the woman. And so for him to be found in the middle of the road, he was found in the middle of the highway alone. And so he went on a trip with his girlfriend of a couple of years. And so it just seems strange that he had blunt force trauma, uh really significant wound to the back of his head. And so the family has been basically protesting, speaking, looking for answers and investigating what happened to their loved one. So let me put the story up here so you can hear what people are saying.
Something happened to where Dro was left on the side of. Remember the story about the cabin trip gone wrong? Well, Lulu is now coming out and she's asking for grace and she's asking for everybody to allow the detectives to do their job. Now, Lulu and Dro went to a cabin trip to celebrate Christmas. During this cabin trip, something happened to where Dro was left on the side of the road where he later succumbed to his injuries. They said he had some blunt force trauma to his head, and everybody's just trying to figure out what made her actually drop him off and what happened in the cabin. Now, what we will say is Lulu has now spoken out and she is asking for grace. She says that she's spoken to Tyrone's family. She's spoken to him and let him know everything that was going on that night and how the night unfolded. She says that only one side is coming out to actually put all the blame on Lulu. But that the other side understood that their love was, it could be domestic sometimes, okay? Now, with that being said, you guys, you have to let me know. Are we standing with Lulu? Are we giving her grace? Or do we still want to know what happened to Dro?
Okay, so like I said, the young man was found in the middle of the road, and people are suspecting that his girlfriend, Lulu, is not telling everything that people need to know. She basically is saying that it was an accident and that basically that's it. It was an accident. So I'm not even sure if they know the details of the accident, but the family is saying that if there was an accident, why is everything, still not, the details of the accident are not out there, and why is that? And also, she was not there when he was found. So he was alone. So this story, as I said, it just stood out to me because it seemed like he's the type of person who would want to be there disgusting. He seems like the calm type of, person that if something happened to him and there was a crime committed, legally, people would want accountability of someone who committed a crime, even if, there was a relationship there at some point, something happened. And so the family is basically saying that there should be, some more answers. I believe there's a police report. There was people who found him. They've even been speaking out, but they still don't have the details. They don't have the details of what's going on. And so I guess is some sort of investigation going on in the background. I would think there's a police report. They also said that there was an argument that these two had in the cabin. So there's a lot of details, but not a lot of information describing exactly what happened to him to get this wound in the back of his head. Seems like maybe he was hit in the head, because they also said he jumped out of a moving car, and then his friends and family says that that's not his character. So I'm gonna bring some updates on this story. I just feel this is a story that people want to know about, you know and need to be aware, because if there's something, going on that just isn't right, and like I said, legally, if there's a crime committed, and someone is, unalive, then there should be more, you know, to for the accountability part. And also there should be more details that professionals, can find out. So I would guess that they're doing what they need to do when it comes to this case. But this young man had a family, and seems to be well loved. So the family is seeking answers. So if you heard about this story, tell me what you think about this story. They're basically saying that the girlfriend is the one that did something, but she's saying that she did not do anything to him and that it was an accident. But there are no details. Tell me what you think happened to Tyrone, and do you think that his girlfriend Lulu is telling the truth? What do you think? Or do you think that it was just a freak accident somehow? Or, what? What do you think happened if she did it, if she did not do it? Um, leave it in the comments. And, I'll see you in the next video. And I will also be updating this story because like I said, I think people want to know about this story. It was supposed to be a family couples night, and it turned into a tragic situation. So let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.